and get this going. So thanks everyone for hopping on. Let me go ahead and mute. I might be muting you. Okay, I got you muted. Okay, we're good. I'll unmute you. Just raise your hand, like, so we can see you, just in case. I don't know how to unmute everyone, and that way, if you do have a quick question, I don't like looking at the chat bar. You can put it in the chat bar if you have a question, and we can go over at the end. But if I look at that, I get distracted. So we already kind of did introductions. So it's just great to have everyone on. And for those that are going to be listening, we like to do these once a month. And we want you guys to feel confident too, that anytime that you bring in a new coach and you feel kind of lost, like, what do I do with a new coach? Because that's how I felt in the beginning. Just know that you have your upline, you have us to utilize. And every month we're going to be running this call for new coaches. So it's always nice too, if you're new, but even in 3 months, you're like, wait, I want to get back on that new coach call. You can come back on this. It's totally fine, because it's a nice place just to chat, ask questions, and go over all that. So the main purpose of this, you guys, is because we know we've all been in your shoes before, and we know what it's like being a new coach. And we know that it can feel overwhelming. We know that it can feel like there's a lot of groups that you're put into, you're getting notifications, and you're like, wait, beginning of the year is really crazy too, because there's Team Cup. So for those of you that just signed on, like, yes, we have Team Cup. If you're in it, great. If not that big of a deal. But it's just a fun competition. It's okay. Don't put any pressure on yourself. Of course, try to hit Success Club. But the main goal right now for you guys is just to have fun, enjoy your journey. So enjoy the group that you're in. Obviously, you're probably plugged into a challenge group. Hopefully you're committed to a program, because that is very important. And really just soak this time up and be a sponge. Know that you can fail forward. You're going to be doing trial and error with a lot of stuff. And that's just how it is in the beginning. Don't feel stupid. If you have a question, because I felt that way. I was like, I don't want to ask a dumb question. I feel like I don't know anything. Like, what does Success Club mean? What is a challenge pack? Like, this is all new lingo for you. And it was that way for us too. But you have to look at this like, hey, this is something new, like a new job, and it's just going to take a little time to get to know a little bit about how to work the back office, a little bit about how to put in a new order for a customer, which groups are what, because I know that can be confusing too. So just try not to get too overwhelmed. So first I'm going to go into just clarifying what a challenge group and how that works. I'm sure you guys are in a challenge group right now with your coach, and really just be the best challenger. If you're not used to posting on social media, I know that you can look at myself or Nicole or Kim or Shannon and get a little overwhelmed and go, oh my God, they're so good with their posts. Oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I could do that. And we all have felt that way, but you cannot compare your chapter 1 to our chapter 20. Like, if you go back to the very beginning of when I started coaching, I've grown so much, because you finally begin to know your story. You finally begin to know a little bit about, okay, during the month, you know when to promote a challenge group, you know when to talk about coaching, and you know when to just do transformations and all that. It just comes with time. So like I said in the beginning, it's really just working on the daily and vital behaviors. So do your workout, drink your shake, make sure, if you haven't already, take that before photo. People always regret it later on if they don't have that before photo. And keep taking progress photos. Like Kim just posted a really good one today that showed her progress with T20. It's only been 3 weeks, and it's like amazing results. You don't need to wait until you are like perfect and have those abs. And you might not ever, like, it doesn't matter if you don't have that. It's about showing your journey. And I think that's where a lot of coaches stop and they go, well, I'm going to wait until I feel more ready, or until I'm done with this group and I've done another, I'm lost another 10 pounds. It's like, no. People love seeing you progress and love seeing, oh, wow, like, look at the changes that she's having. But she's also showing that she's doing these 20-minute workouts, and she's showing up every day. She's drinking her shake. They're watching your stories, and they're going to see that. So they know, okay, how she got from A to Z. They know that you've been doing those steps. And then really when you are doing a program, you're going to fall in love with it. And it's going to make you feel more confident that you're going to go out there and you're going to want to share it. So a lot of you guys are already doing that. And I see some of you guys are posting, and that's great. So just know, like, and then maybe you haven't announced you're a coach yet, and that's okay too. We have the tools to help you get started with that. Just talk to your PS coach. And then really, I always say this, like, keep it simple. Your goal is simply just to bring in people to do exactly what you're doing right now. So bring in people and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm falling in love with it. And I would love for others to join me. And maybe you just want to stick to sharing with your friends first or family. Let them know about it. The one mistake that I made, and it's funny how you always look back in hindsight and say, I wish I had done X, Y, Z. I wish I started out more confident, like owned it that I was a coach. I kind of like beat around the bush. Like, well, yeah, I'm just doing the programs, and I guess I'm going to share it. I don't know. Like I was kind of just, I didn't own it. Right. So I think just try to, embrace it and just say, you know what? Yeah, I've decided to coach because I have fallen in love with it. It's been fun. It's great community. And I figured there's other moms that need this or whatever. We all have a different reason of why we want to coach. Right. So, and then I would say to people like, yeah, and I'm making money. Like, how great is that? I get to just continue to do what I'm doing already, which is working on myself. And yeah, it takes me out of my comfort zone by sharing it, but at least I'm, getting paid for it, or, I can get paid for it. It's pretty nice. So just own it. Like I said, I regret that I didn't. Okay. So social media, this is a part, obviously, that is huge with coaching. You can start any way that you want. In the beginning, it's really about your warm market. So your friends and family, people that you know. If you start looking at some of your friends, maybe start friend requesting or start following some of their friends that you're like, oh my gosh, that's, Stacy from college. I haven't seen her or been in touch with her in so long. Like it's network marketing, you guys. You can't be scared about that. No one's going to think it's weird that you're going to follow them. Especially if you have mutual friends in common. It's just what you do. And if anything, if you get a weird message or response, like, oh my God, why are you following me? Be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just saw that we have mutual friends and you're, in the thick of motherhood as well. I just saw that we had a lot in common. That's what I always say if I do get a message back from someone, but I don't think, I maybe have gotten one or two in the last 3.5 years that I've been a coach. So, so figure out which is your platform, meaning, is it going to be Instagram? Is it going to be Facebook? Or are you doing both, which is totally fine if you're comfortable with both. Nicole is predominantly Instagram, and she has been able to grow her business substantially just through Instagram and, of course, her blog. For myself, I started out doing both. I did a lot on Facebook in the beginning because that's where my warm market was. And then it kind of, over the last 2 years, has transitioned to Instagram. I love Instagram. It's just, for me, I'd rather just stick to one. I also have a business page on Facebook, but you don't need to worry about that at the moment. Just figure out which platform you want to focus on and get comfortable with it. Just be fearless. Like, those first few posts can be scary. We've all been there, but it's how you connect with more people and it's how you inspire others. Just hit post. Like, don't overthink it. If you want your coach to look over your first or second post, or if you're ever a little unsure, like, hey, can you just take a tweak or a look at this? That's why we're here, you guys. We're here to help you get going. Kind of hold your hand in the beginning. We don't want you to feel like you're left in the dark. We're just one big team. We're here to help. So if you don't hear from us because we're busy with our kids, just post it in our team page too, because that's a community for you, literally all of our coaches, to share ideas off one another. And then the goal really is to post 5 times a week. So I don't think that you need to post 2-3 times a day. I post typically once a day. Sometimes it's every other day, but I try to make it consistent with once a day at least, and 2 or 3 of them being fitness related. I always say, if you're looking at your Instagram and someone's looking at your first 9 or 10 squares, they should see a before and after photo, because you want that to, people to be drawn to that. And it's always important to share your progress. And just know it doesn't necessarily need to be a workout selfie. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to just share a selfie of myself at 5:30 in the morning. That's okay. You don't need to do that. In fact, get a picture with your kids in front of, a good window, get some lighting, and just look in the camera. You want to make eye contact, smile. It's all awkward. Trust me. Like, ask Nicole and Kim, we've been there too. Like, it just feels silly, but you get over that after you've done it a few times. And that's how you're going to connect with other people. And then start utilizing stories. So if you're not familiar with Instagram stories, it's going to take a little time to figure that out. But like I said, you just have to dive in and do it. Otherwise, like Jessica, who's on, she asked me a lot of questions in the beginning, and I actually gave her some feedback. I was like, hey, that there's an option when you're doing stories, you can actually hit when you're doing the video, you can hold on to it and press it, and it'll give you 3 seconds to back up. And she was like, oh my God, thanks. I feel so dumb. I didn't know that. I'm like, you're not supposed to feel dumb. You're not supposed to know this. Like, no one really knows that, but we've been doing it for a while. So if you don't mind the constructive criticism, we're going to be there to help you along the way. But there's just little things like that. In your stories, share your meal. People like to see healthy recipes, healthy meals, what you're making for your kids. Share that you're having a shake every single day and why you're having it, what it's done for you. Do a couple quick video workouts, clips of your workout. Don't worry about doing it for, a long amount. Just do like a couple, like maybe 2 or 3. That's fine. And then of course, really, you guys, it's not just because you're a coach doesn't mean that you've changed. You're not someone that's like has to be perfect with your nutrition. You're not someone that has to be like a walking billboard for being a coach. You are just yourself, sharing whatever it is that you already like, and that now that you're still the same person. So share your lifestyle, because that's what people are really going to relate to you with. Not that all of a sudden, you're going to post every day about coaching. That's not what you're going to do. We actually don't want you to post every day about coaching. It's more of sharing a little bit about you so people can relate to you and people can actually feel a connection with you. The more trust that they have with you, the more willing they're going to go, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take her poll and say yes. I'm going to respond to her, post on Instagram and say, I want more information. It takes time, you guys, but if you're consistent and you're showing up and people are watching you make that transformation too, they're going to feel more inclined to reach out to you, like I said. Curiosity marketing, this is key too. So you don't want to spill every little thing in your posts. Like, you don't want to say, I'm a Beachbody coach. In fact, I would say, I'm just a health and wellness coach, or you can say coach, that's fine. You also don't want to say like, oh, I'm doing Transform 20 and I'm drinking Shakeology every day, like in your post. Make it so that people are like, hey, oh my gosh, she's doing a 20-minute a day workout and she's getting results. I wonder what she's doing. She just invited me, so maybe I'm going to reach out to her. What I found in the beginning was people would Google and people would say and respond to some of my stuff and say, thank you so much. You inspire me to go get that. Or, I went online and I got the 21-day fix. And I was like, wait, you got it already? Like, what do you mean? Oh, I just went on the website. Thank you. And I'm like, no, I was inviting you to join me. And so that will happen. And people will do sometimes that's what they'll do. So if you give them all the information, they're going to Google it and they're going to buy it.
Hey, Cal.
Yeah.
As you're saying that, I just want to make sure the new coaches know that if and when that happens, because it does, that there's that very simple form where someone can quickly fill out to make them a coach. And I always say to people, guys, if you just went online, you're going to get assigned a totally random person. And I don't want that to happen to you. So just here's the link. It's like every time I look for it, I just go to Google and I frequently ask questions, and I'll put in coach change form and I send it to them right away. And I have inherited so many people who didn't know that or bought to me and didn't know, and it's something that the new coaches should definitely know about, from the beginning, that they can easily just say, here's the form, easy, and it's free.
I agree. Yeah. Same thing if you invite someone who always like, oh, I already have Beachbody on demand, and just be like, oh, are you working with a coach? And I'd say 90% of the time they are like, no, or I was, but they're not working anymore, whatever it is. Or they're like, oh, but I'd love to join your group, and then you can just have them join you. Same thing. Yeah. I'd love to be, you can join my accountability groups and just switch and they can switch over.
Absolutely. And that has happened to me, you guys. Like, I can't count you how many times. Like, I've had people, hey, I really want you to be my coach. I already have bod. And I'm like, that's totally fine. Have you ever thought about doing Shakeology, or you're interested? I can send you more information. But before I do, can you fill out this coach change form? if your coach is not running challenge groups, I don't want to take someone away from, a coach, but it's super simple to do. And I can tell you a lot of times they will buy something from me. They will buy Shakeology. They will try Energize or Recover, because guess what? They're watching me. They know that's what's part of my whole transformation and what's working for me. And then, one thing I want to make sure that you guys do. So I've noticed this. So make sure that you have enthusiasm in your posts. So like sometimes it could be like really you can come off really blunt and people won't see you as being friendly or like you're excited. Like you want to have energy. So how do you do that? Well, since you're all doing this in writing, right? And people are looking at your storefront, I like to say, because that's Instagram. I look at the feed of storefront. Your stories are kind of your behind the scenes, but you want to get people attracted to your storefront first, and then they'll check out your stories and see more of your like nitty gritty. But make sure that when anytime that someone comments and likes on your stuff, well, really comments, that you respond back. You don't need to do it right away, but like the next day when you have a minute, or maybe at night, the kids are asleep, go back and comment on everyone that has said something to you and say, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Those people that have commented, you can even private message them and say, hey, I just want to say thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. It's really taken me out of my comfort zone. But if you would like more information on it, I would love to share more about it with you. But if not, no big deal. I always like to give people an option out, because then they're like, oh, thanks, maybe later. Or actually, yeah, I would like more information. So it's amazing how many people say that they do want more information. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I hadn't reached out to them, I would have never gotten to that level, to that point with them. And then, like I said, show enthusiasm. So every now and then put an emoji in there. You don't need to do a ton of emojis. I think that's a little distracting, but just like show your personality, and then, if you are responding to someone in the comments, so if someone's commenting on your post, like, oh my God, what are you doing? Say, hey, I'll private message you. I love it. It's 20 minutes long. It's really great for us busy moms. Then send them a private message and then say, I like, what's your email? I'll send you more information. Because if you put it in the comments, most likely other people may see that and go, oh, she's doing something from Beachbody. Oh, yeah, I've already done that. Or, oh, I'm going to go Google it. So that's just a tip that I've learned. So yeah, make sure that you're positive, that you're using like inviting, like exclamation marks, emojis, like I said. People need to feel like a connection, and they want to feel like you're welcoming them. Okay, I already said a few other things. I'm just looking here. And then really what I want you guys to think about is what makes you you. Like this was really hard for me to do at first, because I was like, well, I'm just a mom and I'm a busy mom. And at the time I was working and I didn't really know what else I could say about myself. But then I was like, oh no, I'm a big runner. Like I've always have been a big runner. I played soccer in college. I like doing hard workouts. I'm a fitness guru. I'm a boy mom. I like wine. I like to eat pizza. I'm not perfect with my nutrition, but I'm consistent. And you'll see that I'm consistent with that. I'm a shopaholic. I love shopping. I love, finding deals at TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Home Goods. And my followers know that because I talk a lot about that. So you've got to kind of think like, okay, who are you? Maybe you're a complete introvert and you're like, you know what? I'm going to share that. I'm going to say how I'm an introvert, because guess what? Those people out there that are looking at you are like, oh, she's an introvert and she's doing this. Maybe I can too. So yeah, just start thinking of little things too. If you're a big Disney goer, I know Kim shares a lot about that. If you're a travel addict or you've traveled a lot, Nicole talks about how she used to travel 10 before kids. Maybe you're a bookworm. What kind of books are you into? All those kind of things are going to make you more unique and people relate to you. So there's actually an activity that we're going to share on our team page, and I'll put it in the comments of this team call, is the color wheel. And basically it's just gonna be a little color wheel that you can put all those interests that you can write down in each section, a little bit about you. And that way when you're like, I don't know what to post about. Oh, you know what? Here's a lot about me. You know what? I'm just going to put something on about coffee, talk about coffee or how it's making me survive the day. Like you guys, some of those little posts can do wonders for you. And then Nicole's going to get into Success Club, because that's obviously something that's people are always like, what the heck is Success Club? What does that mean? How do I get Success Club? So I'll let Nicole take over.
All right, awesome. So I just wanted to add on to what Kelly said. One thing is just the power of stories. So when you're doing your posts that are, even if you're sharing a tip or just being as specific as you can with a story. So instead of saying, I did this workout program and before I felt tired and now I feel energized. Like, tell a story about how you felt before that's very specific if you can. Like, I remember the day the kids woke me up at 4:45 and I rolled out. It's just like using the more detailed of the story you can. That's what people relate to, is the detailed story. General information and general like transformations don't get you the same impact. So like, for example, yesterday one of my posts, I talked about how I had this impromptu lunch with my best friend and that I felt a lot of mom guilt. And then I went into details about exactly how I felt. And I could have easily said, oh, moms, don't you all suffer from mom guilt? Like, it's so hard just when you're doing that, and like been really vague. And it would not have gotten the response that it got had I not gone into detail and like explained exactly why I felt guilty. Like, one of the reasons I felt guilty is because my kids, I was like, wish that my kids wouldn't wake up from their nap. And like, so many moms are like, oh crap, like I totally feel that same way, because I always, like, when I hear my kid crying in the other room, think the same thing, but I didn't want to say it out loud. And that just leads me to another point about, I know it's hard to be vulnerable and to share things that you're afraid that people will judge you about, but truly sharing things that honestly make you uncomfortable when you post, and it'll take you time to get used to it and maybe build up to some of that. But sharing the struggle and the vulnerability is truly how you connect with people. There's research that's been done. I'm reading this really interesting book that I can tell you about, but and it talks about how, first of all, when you tell stories, you sync up your brain waves with the other person, so they're just extremely impactful. But also that people who aren't perfect and that show vulnerabilities are found way more likable. Like, one of these studies showed that like there was these people were all they were all doing this like question. They were doing like a thing where they had to fill out a questionnaire and they got money. And the guy who was administrating it was super mean to them. And then they left the room and the guy came up to I want the money he took because I'm a struggling student, and like he showed vulnerability. And then they did a similar thing with different administrators who didn't do anything like that and were actually nice. And at the end actually thought that the man who was mean to them, but then he showed his vulnerability, was the most relatable and the most likable. So it's just, I know it's scary sometimes to show the vulnerable side, but I think it's just important to remember that by telling your story and by sharing things that that are about you and that maybe you need help with, or that are maybe a little embarrassing, brings people together. And you're also going to find that when you're sharing something that is vulnerable to you, you're going to find that people relate to that, and then they come to you and they're like, oh my gosh, that made me feel so much better. They connect with you and you connect with them, and you feel better about what you're going through because of their experience. So tangent on basically on social media and how to create, I guess, because it's not just about posting, it's also about sharing your story and getting people invested in you. So those are some of my tips. So to the logistics of Success Club. So we have this thing called Success Club, and you're going to hear about it all the time in Beachbody. It's a huge focus. It's basically a benchmark that the corporate has for us, that is Success Club 5 and Success Club 10. So you get 2 Success Club points for any new customer you enroll who is on a HD product, which is Home Direct. So Shakeology is Home Direct when purchased with the challenge pack, and then Shakeology is Home Direct on its own when someone selects Home Direct. So if someone buys Shakeology but they decide not to pay for Home Direct, or not to get the discounted shipping for Home Direct, that's actually not any points. So if you're enrolling someone with just Shakeology, it's important to remember that to tell them they can save the discounted shipping by getting Home Direct, and that's how you get your points. So essentially, in order to hit the minimum benchmark with Success Club 5 is to enroll 3 new people a month. Basically the same way that you were enrolled here, not as a coach in the sense, but as just a customer. So that'll be Success Club 5. And there's various prizes that they give out. So I think after 1 month, you get a prize, 3 months, you get a prize. And then if you hit it for 6 months and a year, it used to be every month you get a prize. So I'm not exactly sure. But you get rewarded And those are just the basics, but it's just kind of, it's not about the prizes that you're getting. And another thing about Success Club trips. So a few of us are going on the cruise to the Caribbean. It's fully paid. It also can help you earn like an onboard credit, $500 or $1,000 by hitting Success Club. But it's not about that. It's necessarily just the fact that if you're bringing in at least 3 people a month and hitting Success Club 5 or Success Club 10, which would be 5 people, you're moving your business forward. You're bringing new people in, you're showing them the products, and you're showing them our community, and you're welcoming them. And it's also more likely that those people are going to fall in love with it and become a coach. So obviously it's a great thing to shoot for. I think at the bare minimum, like we're starting this new group called Help One. So if you get overwhelmed by the idea of helping 3 or 5, just even focusing on the fact that you're helping one person's life. And that doesn't even have to be with a challenge pack, like even if you're just enrolling them in Beachbody On Demand. But I do, on that same note, I do recommending presenting the challenge pack before you even mention the fact that they can buy Beachbody On Demand on a loan, because a lot of people obviously aren't going to see the value in Shakeology and the nutrition system right away. And I truly believe that the nutrition system is vital to getting those great results and getting people the changes that they're looking for. People aren't going to get the same results without the nutrition piece. So it's super important that they have it. And the way I look at it is Beachbody On Demand quarterly is $40 a quarter, which is $160 a year. The challenge pack is $160, and you get a year of Shakeology, or you get a year of Beachbody On Demand, and you get a month of Shakeology and the containers. So it's essentially like, I don't even know why you wouldn't do it. It's an amazing deal. So I always present that first. And like I said, if you get 3, then you'll get Success Club. We recognize everyone on our team every month who gets Success Club. But like I said, it's really just about helping more people, bringing more people in, and getting them to fall in love with the products. So in the beginning, your surest way to hit Success Club, we talk a lot about social media and how it's really important, but truly in the beginning of your business, as you're building your social media presence, as people are getting to know you more, as people are building that trust, you're going to be talking to people who are in your that already trust you and that are in your market. And just look at it as the way of like, or not in your warm market. So people are already your friends, already your family, already trust you, and they're going to see you doing this. And when you invite them and genuinely invite them to something that you're enjoying, they're going to want to come along. At the same time, remember, they might not want to come along right now. A lot of people might look at the program and be like, oh, I'm just like, I have a trip. And you can give them, if they provide you with objections, I don't have the money right now, I'm getting paid whenever. I don't have this, they're providing you with things. Just address the objection and move on, and just keep showing up, because those people that you invite in the beginning, they're going to come around. Most of them will come around eventually, in my experience. Not all of them. There's some people that will never, but a lot of people will. And some people, it's just timing. So I highly encourage you to write a list of at least 20 people that you believe, like if you were doing anything, say, I'm a runner, I'm signing up for this 5K. I think it's the best 5K in the world. It has changed my life. I'm going to invite everyone I know to this 5K because I love it. You know what I mean? Like, just think of it the same way. Like, I think some of us get caught up in the fact that we are selling, or that we are, that we're profiting off it, and it makes them feel uncomfortable. But just remember that you love health and fitness. That's why you're here, whether or not you've completed a full program yet or not. You probably have already seen the benefits of it and what it's doing for you, and sharing it with others is essentially just helping change their lives too. So you cannot be afraid. So another thing I just want to keep in mind, like I said, is like, I hear it a lot with new coaches. They'll come on and they'll be like, I'm talking to 3 people. I'm so excited. And I'm like, yay, you're talking to 3 people, which is awesome. I'm so excited you're having conversation with 3 people. But as I said, people aren't going to commit at first in the beginning. So if you were talking to 3 people, if they all 3 sign up, I'd be very excited for you, and also kind of shocked, because that's just not the way it works. They're not going to all sign up at first. Like I said, they probably will come around, but it takes, in order to hit that Success Club number of that's your goal of the 3, you're going to need to talk to probably 10 times that number. So 30 people maybe. And that's not like, I can't, and if you're a math person, I know Kim L, one of my coaches, is a math person. I can't give you like a ratio because of like how many you have to invite in order to get there. It's just, you have to decide if that's an important goal to you and put in the work and figure out what it takes to get there. And then tweak and, talk to your coach. You can even I encourage my coaches, if they want, you can even send me like what you're talking to people about and what they're saying, and I can help you, or I can look at your social media account and figure out maybe what you need help with. But the point is, as Kelly said, you're a beginner and you're just learning. And the best thing you can do is just share that you're loving it, and people are going to come around. And so even though we have, like I said, these Success Club numbers, and to rewind, you hit Success Club the first 3 months as a coach, your first month doesn't count. If you hit it, it does count. But if you don't, it starts the next month. So if you enrolled in January, if you hit it in February, March, and April, you will be, you'll get a free ticket to Summit. Speaking of which, Summit enrollment is on sale right now, and I think today is the last day. Oh man, I have to sign up our Team Cup team too today. Procrastination. So if you buy the ticket today at the discounted price of $155 and you hit Success Club the next 3 months, you will get a refund for $155. They'll just put it back in your account. Are you taking a picture? So that's another reason to go for a Success Club. But at the same time, don't get discouraged if you don't hit it your first 3 months. It definitely make it a goal, but if it doesn't happen, that's okay too. You just have to keep learning and growing and being consistent. This business is all about being consistent. It's about showing up. And it depends kind of where you're coming from. If you're someone who's already been into really health and fitness, when you come out and you're like, here's what I'm doing, you're probably going to get a few more people coming to you because they see you as a credible source already. If you're someone who is just coming kind of out of nowhere with health and fitness, you might have a slower start, but that does not mean at all that you can't be successful. It just means that you're going to have to prove to people that you are serious, because if you come on and you're excited about what you're doing, people are going to see that excitement, but then they're going to be like, I want to watch and see. Is she going to be here in a month? Is she going to be here in 2 months? And so you have to prove them wrong that you are going to be here and you're going to keep showing up. And so it's so important to be consistent. Does everyone understand what Success Club is? Does anyone not understand it? Can you unmute her?
Hey,
Yeah.
So I understand it. I guess my only question is, what's the difference between Success Club 5 and Success Club 10? Obviously, it's more people with 10, but what's the benefit of 5?
Oh, yes. So I missed that. So that was good that you asked that. So Success Club 5 and Success Club 10 are just different benchmarks. And so there's a couple recognition that you can get where if you hit it 12 months in a row, you get recognized, and that's one thing. But so the cool thing is if you're an Emerald coach, which I'll get to next, it's the first rank advancement when you're growing a team. Once you're an Emerald coach, if you hit Success Club 5, the previous month, Beachbody will give you free leads. So if in our previous example, if someone goes on and buys Beachbody on demand by itself on beachbody.com, they'll get assigned to you because you're an Emerald coach who has hit Success Club 5. The cool thing is, if you are an Emerald coach and you hit Success Club 10, if someone goes on the website and they buy a challenge pack and they don't have a coach, that commission goes to you and you earn the commission immediately. So if someone goes on and buys a commission that pays out $80, I will get $80 with literally have done nothing. So that's a very cool thing about getting Success Club 10. And Success Club 5, the leads that you get are the new customer. You don't get a commission on their original purchase, but if you follow up with them and say, hey, you should try Shakeology, you should do a 3-day refresh, that's not the way you would word it, but reach out to them, tell them you're your coach. They might never respond to you, they might respond to you, and then their next order, that's a new order, will be a commission for you. So essentially being Emerald and then hitting these Success Clubs also gets you additional income. And there's other things you can earn, there's a lot of things that are related to Success Club. Another thing that you need to have in order to hit Success Club is you have to have a personal home direct order of 90 points, which is Shakeology basically. So you have to be ordering Shakeology every month in order to hit the second requirement of Success Club. So the next part is, I'm just briefly going to go over the next part, which is Emerald, and I'm not even going to mention the other ranks at this point. So Emerald is the first rank in advancing for becoming in your team. And so as you guys likely know, you earn in Beachbody through commissions, which is like Success Club. And then you're going to also earn by building your own team. Building your own team is something that at first can seem overwhelming, but it's pretty amazing. So cute, Sammy. It's pretty amazing what you can do with this business with a team. And it's so rewarding to have a team. So Emerald is basically your first step towards having that team. And then you're also going to earn team cycle bonuses immediately. Another really cool thing about our business is that the way that it works is as not only does, you have 2 legs, right? So here's you and you have 2. So becoming Emerald means you have 1 coach here and 1 coach here, and they both have to be active. So to be active, they have to have 50 PV. So like 2 orders of beach bars, a challenge pack, Shakeology, all of those things make them active. It has to be 50 PV. So once you become Emerald, then you start earning cycle bonuses. So I'm not going to go down the road of how the cycle bonuses work, right? Because it's complex. The point that I wanted to make to you though is that your upline coach is putting coaches below you. If you look into your back office, and if you're the last coach I added, you're not going to see it. But say, I think Rose is the last coach that I added. As soon as I add another coach on her leg, that person will be under her. It won't count towards her Emerald rank status, but she'll earn, once she becomes Emerald, she'll earn a commission off of that person's volume. So essentially getting to Emerald as soon as you can allows you to start this piggy bank that allows you to accumulate volume under you that you can later cash out. So even if you're maybe not planning on building a huge team yet, anyone who comes to you and buys a challenge pack and enjoys Shakeology, offer the discount and to be a discount coach. Always offer also to be a working coach. You literally never know who this opportunity can help, who will want it. Every single person that comes into your challenge group, I would recommend checking in with them on week 1 about how it's going, and week 2, ask them if they want to be a coach or if they're enjoying Shakeology, discount coach. And like Kelly said in the beginning, like we are here to help mentor your coaches. If you get an amazing working coach, for example, Kelly is under Shannon. I believe she was one of her first coaches ever. Like literally, I think within a month of Shannon working, she added Kelly as a coach. And like, if she had not reached out to Kelly because she was scared, I'm a new coach, and she was scared to invite Kelly, literally every single person on this call would not be here. And Shannon wouldn't have Kelly because she would have been afraid. So I just highly recommend, don't be afraid to put it out there, because the more it takes time for your team to build. And if you wait till you're ready in a year or 2, it's going to be taking you a long time to earn that residual income. And the residual income from the team building portion is literally, the sky is the limit.
Really quick, I'm going to go off of that really quick because Nicole made a great point. I want you guys to know this because this is so important as you're getting new challengers and customers, is that you might not think they're going to be a coach. So Jessica, where are you? There you are. Jessica signed up as a coach because she wanted the discount. And she then quit a month and a half later. All of a sudden I got the email from Beachbody saying Jessica, is no longer a coach. 4 months later, 3 months later, I'm not really sure when, it wasn't too long ago. She's like, hey, Merry Christmas. It's going to be the holidays. It's really crazy to talk about this now, but after the holidays, like, I'm ready to coach. And I was like, oh my God, absolutely. Let's do this. So I just want you guys to think about that, because that happens to me a lot. And I'm sure Jessica was like, if I'm going to join someone, I already have been with Kelly before, and I didn't know that she was still doing her, workouts and sticking to it. So she was loving it and she was getting great results. I just didn't know that. I thought that when she quit, she was done, kind of moved on. But you never know. People are always watching your journey. And if I decided like I'm not going to show up anymore, I'm sure she would have been like, well, I'm not going to reach out to Kelly. Like, I haven't seen her post about it in a long time. But since she saw that I'm growing a team and I'm serious about it, and, of course she would want to join me. She's been in my challenge groups before. We know each other. So keep that in mind. There's always going to be times when you're like, oh, I don't think anyone's going to want to do this, but always put it out there. Always ask them. I have a lot of discount coaches. I'll put it that way, a lot. But majority of my income now is from team volume on a weekly basis, which is pretty amazing that I don't need to sell anything retail side, and my income stays the same each week because of my team volume that I have. And it's a mix because I do have quality working coaches, but you don't need everyone to be a quality working coach to really gain momentum. So don't think that you need to have a ton to, really grow your team.
Agreed. Does anyone have any more questions about how Emerald works? Oh, so and the team cycle bonus you'll earn is $14, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but it truly does add up. Once you become a diamond, which is the next rank, it's $18. And there's also bonuses as you advance rank. There's a lot of opportunities, but we're not going to go down that right now since you're new and you're just trying to figure out what you're doing now. And then just to reel back on that is just remember to be in the step that you're in. So right now you're just a new coach. You're trying to figure out what you're doing. Don't be afraid to invite and share this opportunity, but at the same time, don't look ahead and think, how could I ever be like Kelly or Nicole or Kim or any of you guys? I don't even, that's so overwhelming and I couldn't do it. Just focus on the lane you're in, figure out, how you want to run your challenge group and co-host, as we've said, you can co-host with any of us. Just learn what you're doing, get acquainted with social media, and then with time, you will learn and grow, and you'll be able, and like when the time comes to even become an Emerald, like when you add your first coach, you'll be like, oh, maybe I should go on the FAQ and figure out how this all works, or ask my coach, but basically learn as you go. And what was the last thing I was going to say? Oh, so we're going to start having team calls every 2 weeks. And then we'll have this new coach call monthly. So we're going to do the team calls on a Thursday at 2. And then what did we decide? Tuesdays? This is Pacific time.
Yeah, the first week of the month, Tuesday, we'll do it at 8 p.m. So actually next Tuesday will be our team call.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to do
the calendar will be out soon. We're just waiting for.
Well, and we have a monthly calendar that you'll be able to keep up to date in our bigger team page. And there's also a thing called Super Saturday, which is a regional event every quarter that you can go to. So even if you're not in San Diego, Orange County, or Pacific Northwest, where a lot of our coaches are, you can go on to Beachbody and find where your local Super Saturday is. And I've gone to them alone and they're super fun. You still meet people and connect with people and you learn so much. And being in person really helps, whether or not you're with your team that you work with through like here, or if you're on your own. And then this is the last day, like I said, for the discounted summit tickets, and it's July 11th. In Indianapolis, and it's going to be so fun, and we all share hotel rooms to cut the cost, and we go out to dinner every night. We have amazing workshops. We do workouts in the morning together, and it's so fun. It's basically like a really long girls' weekend where you're just getting to know each other and just learning a ton. And even if you literally just signed up, I highly recommend coming because it's an amazing transformative weekend where you'll just like kind of be on this high and be so excited, and it's just really fun. So if you don't know how to sign up for that, talk to your coach. So the last thing I just want to go over is your vision, and I guess I failed to mention the personal development, but this kind of goes along with it. So no matter where you're coming into this business, what your goal is in general, or in life, or what you want, or not in life, but in general, what you think you want to do with this business, I want you to just take some time today or tonight to just write down, like, what would life look like in your ideal world? So like, imagine you could do anything you wanted with your time. I mean, if you have kids, you still have to take care of them in some capacity, but my vision includes a nanny who comes for like 3 to 4 hours a day and cleans my entire house, gets ready, preps dinner. So what help do you need? What does life look like? Where do you live? Where do you spend your time? Like, I want to drink coffee with my husband every single morning. And right now we do that. But that's something I always want to do. I want to make sure we always do that. Like, where is this house that you want to live in? What would you do every day? Who are you interacting with? Like, who are your best friends? Like, are you train, like if you're a runner, are you training for races? Are you traveling? Where are you going? How often do you travel? Like what would, like truly what would financial freedom and time freedom, if you're, for the moms, like that's for me is key. It's like, I mean, all of us, right? Time, there's not enough time. And if you work in a corporate job, you only get 2 weeks or however much vacation. Like, what would you do with unlimited time? So I just really encourage you to, like, what we call this is your vision, to write it down. If you're comfortable, share it with your coach, reach out to them and share it with them. I personally read my vision every single morning, and it drives me to get up in business that why you came in, you lose sight of it. Like helping, you know, even if you love helping people, sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes you don't want to do it. And you have to have something to get, to bring you back to why you're doing it. So it, maybe your vision is, you know, that you're reaching however many women and you're helping them, or maybe you're fine. Like me, I'm finally, my vision is I'm finally reaching my mom who needs to lose like at least 100 pounds. And I've never been able to help her. That's part of my vision. And to help her financially, because can barely afford to be in retirement that she's in. Things like that. And it just, like, when I read them, I'm like, okay, even though I'm up at 5:30, and I'm not saying you have to get up at 5 a.m. to read your vision every day, but that's what I do. And it seriously helps me and drives me. And having that time, another thing that to go back, but another thing is I highly recommend setting some working time. So for me, in the morning is a great time for me to get some work in. So just looking at your day and figuring that out. But so that is your vision. And one thing I also recommend is just personal development. For me, it's been a huge part of my continued desire to grow and learn is just listening to podcasts. Some of my favorite podcasts are the Melanie Mitro Women Inspiring Women podcast. Also, I love the Mommy Millionaire podcast. She's the top of isogenics, and she's created this empire, and I really like listening to her. She's a little bit of a valley girl, if you can get over it, but she's awesome. And just finding people that resonate with you, and just listening to them and learning from them and growing, and just filling your mind with, honestly, positivity, because things are going to get hard, and things don't always go your way. And in this business, if you've ever been in, like, I know we're about sharing, but it is about sales as well. And any kind of job that's in sales, there's going to be disappointing moments, and there's going to be highs, and there's going to be lows. And I think the personal development really keeps you stay on track when you're at those lows. Because, like, for me, my first working coach that I ever signed up quit, like, without even starting. Like, the top coach who's, like, you'd be blown away by her success. Like, her famous story is, like, the first person she sold Shakeology to returned it. It's like, if she had quit, like, she wouldn't be here. So just know that, like, there will be ebbs and flows, but just continue working towards, figure out what's driving you, people that inspire you, and surround yourself with, or fill your mind with their words. Figure out what areas of personal development you need to work on. So, like I said, I'm reading this awesome book that I love that's about, like, how to communicate with people, how to lead people, how to motivate people, how to tell stories. It's all about the science behind communication. That's where I'm at. But maybe you need a book that's about confidence and belief and getting vulnerable. So, like, maybe you want Brene Brown's, like, Daring Greatly. Like, if you need help deciding what kind of personal development book you need for you, then ask your coach, and they can help you. I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions? We believe in all of you guys, and we're here for all of you. That being said, so yeah, no matter even if you're on this call and we're not your personally sponsored coach, like, we're all here to help each other. So I'm happy to help anyone's coaches, or if you bring new people on, just know that you have this community to put them in, and that we have amazing resources for you. Always ask, because I'm sure it's there.
This is your chance. Does anyone else have a question? Raise your hand, because you might be muted.
And that was a lot of information too.
Really? No questions?
They're processing.
All right. Well, this is awesome. We all made it through an hour, and we all have kids. So good job, guys. All right, well, we'll close it up, and hopefully this was helpful. And just biggest thing, stay consistent, work on your own self, your own journey, have fun, and we have the tools here to help you. And just make sure that you are in our growth group if you want to be in that, or you can just get plugged into our Help One group, which will start February 1st. We'll get you added to that. Sammy's really excited. And that's it. Let's take a picture now that we can all smile and look.
Yay!
Ready? Yay. Okay, fun. All right. Thanks, guys, for being on.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.